To your average outsider, esports can be intimidating to watch.
GA trying to open up, the homing missile straight in on the Shaker's head, takes down the Shaker. We are still there, ready to turn. Resolution pops the BKB, looks towards the side, trying to bat him against Matumba, but Matumba man, he BKBs himself.
Brilliant. I have absolutely no idea what's going on.
But even if you can wrap your head around the on-screen nonsense, that doesn't matter if you're not given a chance to actually see it.
He's trying to do that right now. He's on plateau right now with that AWP. Could we go to him, please? There's a fight on plateau right now. B-site plateau.
As annoying as a misplaced camera or a poorly timed cutaway can be, it's more than likely that your nerd rage is going to be directed at one target in particular, the observer. Observing is an underappreciated art that's been around since the very beginning of broadcasted esports. It's a thankless role usually held by a few individuals in control rooms during events. And over the years, these unsung heroes have become crucial to the growth of esports. Observers are responsible for switching from interesting camera angles and player perspectives to create a cohesive and engaging viewing experience. And when done well, you wouldn't even know they exist.
Essentially, I don't want the viewer to know I'm even there. You want it to feel very seamless. You want it to feel almost automated to a point. You want to tell a story. You want to show the most important information in the round.
Really rough for Simple to actually get through this. He's going to throw the AWP in. Oh my god! Simple, what is happening?
However, when observing goes wrong, it's not hard to miss.
This is what the T7 really want right now. They want to see if they can catch themselves a rotational pick, but Mistu, he denies that. The Famous tears through the door, takes down Blaze, a nice trade comes in from Gabe, but Alex the Maniac, both will combine. Echo gets himself just another punish, Alex, and another from Merz to take down Soinu.
So some of you might be thinking, well, how hard can it be? I mean, you just follow the action as it unfolds. And that attitude completely undervalues just how involving the job is.
To be an observer, you really need to understand the map and how the two dots on the radar work when blue and yellow are going to meet each other. To be a great observer, there's so much more depth to it.
At its core, observing is about storytelling, and every camera pan or perspective change is a decision made with a specific objective in mind.
If it's a 1v4 and one of the 4 people alive is on like a ace, like he has 4 kills in the round, he's about to ace the 5th person, I would try to spectate the guy trying to ace, because it's a better storyline. If the one guy gets more kills, I would try to stay on the one person. So it's a little hard. It's a thought process on like, who should you stay with, the person trying to ace or the person trying to 1v4?
No matter the game, for larger events, an observer or multiple observers will often work with a full production team that requires significant coordination. A producer will often ask for specific perspectives based on the team's playing and what's going on in the match. And the more observers work with the same producers, the more cohesive broadcasts become.
Yeah, I think for us to work together well with observers and the production team, it's important to have a good relationship with one another, be able to speak openly on what works and what doesn't work.
But to truly appreciate how far observing has come, we need to go back in time to when it was just a community-driven effort. During the arcade era of the early 90s, competitors would stand at a machine, duking it out for supremacy, while someone just behind them would describe the action for the suckers in the back.
Speak up! Quiet, Mom. Well, I can't hear a thing.
But with the rise of PC gaming alongside the internet later that decade, titles like StarCraft really blazed the trail for in-game observing clients. For example, in the early days of Brood War, if someone wanted to observe a 1v1 match, they'd spawn as a Terran and fly their command center to the edge of the map to stay the hell out of the way. As interest in spectating games grew, the community eventually created a plugin that enabled lobby slots for would-be observers, offering them full vision of maps during matches. While it wasn't perfect, for a game launched in 1998 that was played extensively through the 2000s, the concept was revolutionary. Up until the 2010s, this observing model was pretty much the norm, but thankfully today, this jank approach is largely gone. Unless you still play For Honor with your friends, which demands that 2 players sacrifice themselves in order to spectate a 1v1 match. And let me just say, there's no shame in a good old-fashioned blood ritual. I mean, I sacrifice 3 chickens to the Bury God before every shoot.
Isn't Josh a vegetarian?
Come on, Matt, where's the drama in sacrificing squirrel food?
You're gonna love my nuts.
Anyway, back in League of Legends' earliest days, observing was very complicated. It involved a cobbled together solution that allowed designated observers to hop into competitive matches as a sixth character. From there, they'd equip the little rat with the Observer Summoner spell, giving them the ability to see the whole map. And with complete omniscience over the rift, they would chill out, allowing observers to rotate with the action.
God is dead, man.
Eventually, in 2012, Riot implemented an actual spectator client that was pretty robust and formed the foundation for what League broadcasts would become.
We have a main observer and a secondary observer. The main observer is more like a director of the show when you're in game, and then there's a second observer who is actually looking at the other points of action that could happen. So when you watch the two of us control camera, we're constantly communicating anything from where people are moving, if someone's about to clear a ward, where ganks are going to be set up, or where pressure might be applied because they have less vision.
And today, with esports competing against one another for views and attempting to lure in new fans, professional observing has become more important than ever. For MOBAs with isometric bird's eye points of view, the presentation formula has been streamlined over the years. But certain games in other genres have run into significant problems nailing that same seamless experience for fans. Look no further than Overwatch, which has been given a lot of shit for its at times confusing spectator experience, something highlighted at the Overwatch World Cup in 2016.
The Reaper generally doing a little bit better in this third part. And wow, Graviton Surgeon Zuma goes in! Big aggressive move by South Korea. Will it pay off though? Looks like it is so far. Kills coming in. There's the Dragon Blade, the nano boost on Arhan, and they absolutely wrecked USA.
And there. I'm fine. There you go.
Blizzard quickly recognized these problems, and prior to the launch of the Overwatch League's inaugural season, rolled out numerous updates to improve viewer experience by adding tools to the Observer UI. Features like team color coding, a top-down map, and a detached third-person camera, among others. And while spectating in Overwatch is still clearly a work in progress, there's no question that it's come a long way.
It's in point B. What is this?
What are they doing right now?
That is interesting.
That is a really...
Can you get over the roof there?
Oh my. Oh my, what a play, what a grab!
Tosses in the grab, they're gonna make it work. And Cruz taken out by the ensuing self-destruct. Atlanta Reign breaking through that in the most stylish way I've ever seen.
For already complex games with burgeoning esports scenes like Rainbow Six Siege, less developed observing tools can not only make casters' lives harder, but also present problems for the game's future growth.
The biggest issue that faces Rainbow Six right now is our spectator client. There is a wealth of information that is just withheld from the player, from the viewer, from the casters, from the spectators, everybody. And it's extremely frustrating because Rainbow Six is already a very hard game to spectate. I envy how easy it is to watch Call of Duty, to watch CSGO, because it's a lot more straightforward. Rainbow Six, there's people all over the map. They're going through possibly 2 floors. They're droning out other players. They're getting information that you don't know that they have. And as casters, it's a challenge to relay that to the viewers. Until Rainbow Six is made easier and more understandable to watch, it's going to struggle to be able to compete with the other esports.
Developer support then is fundamental to this whole process. And for games in emerging genres with no roadmap to follow, observing is a matter of trial and error that takes time to refine.
From Crazy Goat to trade out, but it's still so close. Effective HP is a difference of about 20. Crazy Goat has that RPG looking for an angle. Snow isn't getting to him. This is masterfully done by Snow on that top right corner right now.
Oh, they caught the side jump!
And he gets the side jump, gets over on the side, retakes high ground from Crazy Goat. Nice. Side jumps out, and Snow finds him! Snow finds Crazy Goat!
Mr. Krabs, I am so confused.
And as much as we love to point out observer fails because we're whiny little bitches, think about all the times they've done a fantastic job and we didn't even notice.
wraparound gank is going to be the name of the game for IG. Who leads the way? I believe it should be Zoe. They're going to cut for the shorter path. They storm up the river. Patience from Zoe. Waiting in the wings. Navi's about to be caught. Oh, there's the sleep. The surge. He catches everyone. Oh, this could be a total disaster. Vacuum in. Ravage on everyone. The black hole as well. Light of Heaven turns it around. Ravage as well. Stolen by Denny. Are you kidding me?
Here's Scarlet. Losing control a little bit with the lift there. This could be it.
Bomber can't afford to scan, so this oh god, the burrow payments are huge. They're just over to the right a little bit more. Bring them out, bait them, he's trying to bait. Oh my god! Oh my god, a perfect detonation!
And they even got the pick off on Bang.
Rox doesn't actually have to stop pushing right now. They can delay the recalls. The arrows. Look at the arrow. Get teleport. He's gonna stop it out.
He's stopped, dude. Which means they can push. It's now on Wolf. It's a teleport coming in for Smith and Girl. How much more can be done?
Observers are every bit as essential to our enjoyment of esports as the players themselves. Without their coordination, keen eyes, and understanding of the games, we might not have so many of the moments we've grown to treasure over the years. They empower casters to produce iconic sound bites we'll remember forever.
Olofmeister is still waiting. The Patience game coming. I can spot them coming out of Squeak door as well. He's here. He sees them down there. Straight headshot. They have no idea. Smith's looking confused and dazed, and there's going to be a follow-up headshot. Olofmeister, you've got to be kidding me. Takes down Hiroshima as well.
And they're fundamental to bringing new fans into the scene. So the next time you catch yourself spamming T-Tours like an asshole in the chat, just remember that no one knows they fucked up more than the observers themselves.
S4 has a chance to actually use it offensively there. Oh, mid lane though. Looks like Fly will go down here as Pablo snags up that kill with Frost Blast. But most of his RPs have felt very defensive, of course, and Nyx Assassin, although he was there again to ruin it.
You know, I hate to beat a dead horse, but I really appreciate what observers do. It can be so hard to focus on one thing when so much crazy shit can be happening. I mean, they catch so many minor game-changing details that we might miss, and I'd go as far as saying that observers really do see the whole picture. Pork chop sandwiches.
Pork chop sandwiches.
Get the fuck out of here.
G.I. Joe.